Oh, hello. It's Catherine Massell, Master Intuitive Energy Healer. What else am I? Spiritual Growth Catalyst, Multi-Consciousness Bridge. I'm here today to talk to you about, hi Tanya, making peace with the power surges. As soon as I get myself together here, I just chased a bear out of my backyard because my dog wanted to go after him. And it's that time of year. Hi, Angela. There's a lot of bears roaming about in the daytime, and gotta be really careful on the trails up here in Tahoe because they're just everywhere at this time, which is weird because they're still going on this cycle of hibernation, but a lot of the bears up here don't hibernate anymore because the eating is so good. Anyway, there's a little ecology lesson for you as I get started here. So let me pull up some pages. Say hello, let me know where you're watching from. Happy Tuesday. If you're watching in my group, Ascending Earth Creatrix, happy Tell Us Tuesday. Let's see where I am here live, and I'm going to share this in my group presently. There I am. Share. So we are probably already feeling, I know I am, a lot of the power surges from the next wave of what's happening. We had a little break. From a lot of the really intense polarizing energies that we felt over the summertime with a lot of converging celestial events. And that's one of the reasons why, not all the time, but it's one of the reasons why we can experience very powerful surges of energy. I'm going to share this in another place. But for those of you who are watching, and maybe you're not that familiar with me, maybe you haven't watched me before, but I like to talk about all things Ascension. One of my monikers is Ascending Earth Creatrix. Hi, Lamorla. Angela says, yeah, feeling those power surges. I like to talk about all things Ascension. It is part of my mission, a big part of my mission and my purpose here at this time, to help people through the growing pains of experiencing this shift from 3D to 5D and moving in a more graceful, favorable, easeful, joyful way, yes, it's possible, into this timeline, Ascension timeline of 5D. So one of the things that I really quite, if I can toot my own horn here, pretty adept at, is tuning up your energy and helping you release, helping you activate, and upgrade, expand your vessel, your energetic vessel, to better calibrate to the frequencies that are coming in at a very accelerated rate now. So this is what I do. This is what I like to talk about. This is my passion. This is part of my purpose. The larger part of my purpose, as I'm just finding out, is working with Mother Creatrix energy and helping you assimilate and merge into that. But for those of you who are, hi Colleen, welcome. I'm having a power outage. Well, we're having power surges over here. So at first blush, when you read this title, you may think this is a talk about menopause. Nope. Let's talk about Ascension and what's happening now with this next wave that we are about to embark upon. So it's kind of like, I don't want to approach it with a sense of fear or, instill like fear or dread in you. That is not my purpose here. It's to prepare you for these power surges. So I do want to say this, strap in, because we're going to have a little bit of a bumpy ride before we leave 2018 behind. So that being said, you can start preparing your energy now. There's things that I'm going to share with you here today that will help you have some insight on what are power surges, why do they happen, and how you can prepare yourself better. What can you expect? And in that uncovering of that nugget of wisdom, how do you prepare yourself better for that? Okay. So, and make peace with them. So what are power surges? So I call them power surges they can be experienced as a number of different things. As we are continuing to accelerate on our spiritual path, our spiritual journey of moving along this ascension timeline of moving out of 3D. Many of us are already in 4D. Hi, Sarah. And many of us are already stepping into or being able to step in and out of 5D. I happen to be one of them. I do a lot of work in 5D. In fact, it's more playing than anything else. But because we have this body, this physical vessel, because we are spirit incarnate in human form, we will always experience this duality of being in one timeline and another simultaneously. So that infinite part of us, that deep soul, higher self part of us, whatever you want to call it, your spirit avatar goes in and out of 4D, 5D, and oftentimes, depending on where you are, if you're on your particular continuum of your spiritual journey, you may be even further along, 60, 70, or beyond. Depends on where you are. We're all in different places, but we are all experiencing ascension, whether we are consciously tapped into it or not. Even the most unwoke people on the planet are experiencing ascension in their own way. Problem is, they don't really have the language or the verbiage around it to be able to explain what's happening to them, to comprehend, to put some cohesive level of understanding to what's happening to them at this time. So that's where I come in, because I love to talk about this stuff. I really like to keep my finger on the pulse of things that are happening, and there's something that I've been doing over the last 4.5 months, and I'm continuing to do and continuing to go into, because it's part of, actually it is why I'm here. It's why I'm here to do the work that I'm here to do. That helps me to have more of a singular sense of this, to kind of merge into the oneness of all, so that I can see the patterns before they even begin to emerge. How do we know what dimension we are in? Well, you're definitely in 3D. Otherwise, you wouldn't be typing this to me. You wouldn't have the thought process to ask this question. You're definitely in 3D. But depending on what we can glimpse, depending on what we are able to open up to, what we allow ourselves to see, which is beyond the ego mind, because the ego mind has a lot of trappings of what it allows us to see, okay? It puts in a lot of filters. So if you are experiencing things that go beyond explanation, you're experiencing spiritual awakening that goes beyond your explanation or understanding at this time, you are going in and out of different dimensional realities. This is the norm for us now, okay? Hi, Heather. So let me get back to this, what I was talking about. So what are these power surges? So as we are moving along on a very accelerated rate along this path line, this pathway, this timeline of ascension, of moving from 3D into 4D and 5D and beyond, there are certain energies that are not supported as we move into 5D. So things that are on the lower end of the vibrational spectrum. And we look at this, the best way to understand this and look at this are through our emotions. So things like blame, fear, resentment, guilt, sorrow, grief, hatred. These are obviously at the very end of the vibrational spectrum in terms of the energetic frequency they emit, okay? These are not supported as we move into 5D. So when we experience these power surges, what's really happening is that we're collapsing timelines that hold these emotions. They collapse it for the collective, and they collapse it for the individual. So we are feeling this on a very individualistic level, meaning our experience is so unique to us. So what someone else experiences as these timelines are collapsing that can no longer hold these lower vibrational energies as we move into 5D might be totally different than what someone else experiences. And it's really dependent upon where you are on your spiritual journey, how well you understand what these power surges do, what they're doing for you, not to you, and your willingness to release resistance around these collapsing timelines. So much of our identity is wrapped up in what certain timelines hold for us now, especially what 3D timelines hold for us. We've created this persona, we've created this personality, we've created something that allows us to survive in 3D, and it's called a personality. So we have thoughts and ideas that make up who we are. But at the core of it, it's just an idea of who we are. And it gets largely agreed upon because of what is agreed upon in the collective about what reality is. So we've had a lifetime here in 3D of this persona, this personality that we have adopted as ours. We feel very possessive of it. It allows us to function and navigate in this world in a way that we feel safe and comfortable. May not always be the best way for our highest and best good, but it has become comfortable for us. So as we collapse these timelines, these false projections, these false ideas about our identity are collapsing as well, because many of these ideas we have about our identity are entrenched in these lower vibrational spectrum emotions of grief, loss, sorrow, blame, resentment, victimhood, martyrdom, whatever you want to call it, and simply aren't supported in 5D. So here's the paradox. We are asking to ascend. We are asking for spiritual awakening. We are asking for a greater level of spiritual understanding. We are asking to go further on our spiritual journey. But at the same time, we are terrified of letting go of our identity. We are terrified of letting go of this idea that we've projected into a persona, a personality that has allowed us to navigate in this world and function in a way that we can survive. And I use that word survive because many of us are feeling like we are just getting by. We are just scraping by. We are just surviving. We're not thriving. And this is a real shame. It's a real disappointment because that means you're not checked into that higher level of self. It means that you are not putting your perspective and your vantage point into the level of the higher self. You're putting it in through the ego. This is what is making us feel like these power surges are so painful, so filled with grief. We fear them when they come around again. We're like, oh no, here we go, Mercury retrograde again. What does this shit have in store for me now? And we automatically go into this ego fear around it, which is all based on the illusion of this identity that we've created through our own ideas, that we have agreed within ourselves to adopt. And through our relationship with the other people in our lives and the collective at large, we're kind of on a spiritual level, or on an ego level, I should say, asking them to agree with this identity and this persona as well. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Give me some hearts if this... I said Mercury retrograde and froze. Perfect. That has more to do with my internet reception up here in the mountains. It's not very good. But that is funny. So does that make sense? You guys give me some hearts if this makes sense to you, because what I'm going to tell you next, if you're not really grasping or you're not along on this ride with what I'm talking about up till now, you're not going to understand what I'm saying after this. And I'm happy to give you some clarity on it if you need it. So do you understand what, or have a better understanding of what power surges are at this point? Because I'm going to go into it in more detail. So these power surges happen for two reasons, okay? Because we are asking, if you agree that, and if you're watching me here live, you are on some level asking for greater potential to open up in your spiritual journey. You're asking to go further along on your own continuum of spiritual awakening. Yes? Would you agree? Give me some hearts if that's true. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to me go on about this, right? So we are put in this strange paradigm, and if you want to call it, that's probably not the best word. A paradox is a better word, or juxtaposition of asking for this, asking for greater revelations along our spiritual, our timeline of spiritual evolution, our spiritual journey. But at the same time, we're afraid to lose this persona that we've adopted, and it's really just an assemblage of ideas about who we are. Largely, it's not real. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Christine. Welcome, ladies. We're just getting into it, so you joined at the right time. So these power surges happen to do two things then. Allow us to release these ideas and everything entrenched in those ideas, all the trapped emotions about those ideas of who we are and our persona and what we've built up as a personality up to this point to survive or navigate in this world of 3D, which is a very dense reality, a very dense experience. The power surges happen to help us release that which is keeping us in denial of our spiritual awakening, or keeping us in resistance to our spiritual awakening, and it is also an energetic upgrade. So it is always dual in its function, these power surges. It allows you to release, and it allows you to upgrade your energetic. And one can't happen without the other. So think about it this way. When you are, I'm going to give you a specific example. So if you're asking for, on your spiritual journey, to awaken to a higher level of connection with Source, you want to merge more with your higher self. You want to navigate through your life with the vantage point, the perspective of, the perception of your higher self. So you can see the larger framework of things. So you can pull back the lens and see all the moving parts of your life without the subjective point of view of the ego. Okay? Let's just say that for the sake of argument. That's what you're trying to do. That's what most of us are really trying to do anyway. So that's kind of the crux of what we're working on. But if you are holding on to something deep down within you that is, I'm not powerful. Everything that's happening into my life is a punishment. Everything that's happening to me in my life is a punishment. I'm being punished. God doesn't love me. This world doesn't serve me. I want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. Everything that happens to me makes me feel like I have no power. Everything that happens to me makes me feel like it's just another struggle that I have to overcome. If you are holding on to those emotions and these ideas that you project into this persona then of, let's just say, victim, for lack of a better word, how is it that you expect to navigate your life from this higher self perspective then? Because they are mutually negating. They are mutually exclusive energies. You cannot literally be in this energetic vibration of the victim, which holds all the emotions of that lower end of the vibrational emotional spectrum of blame, resentment. Obviously, you're blaming someone else, God, another person in your life, for your situation. You are not taking power or responsibility for you as the creator of your reality. Yes, you are. And you are occupying this energetic of the observer, meaning you are just looking at life as it is, making a value judgment on it and accepting it as fact, and accepting that this is just where I am and it can't change. How do you expect to stay in that energetic and navigate your life from a higher spiritual perspective at the same time? It will never work. It can't work. You cannot hold two opposing vibrations at once. The stronger one will always win out. So if you are navigating your life from that ego perspective and you are just in a place of survival, you will see, and your subconscious will look for external validation to prove you right in that energetic every single time. Every single time. Okay? So these power surges that are happening, they happen to shake everything up and to show you exactly what you're holding on to that is in opposition or counter beliefs that are coming up. These power surges happen to put everything in such stark relief and contrast for you that you have no choice, unless you are literally putting blinders on by your own volition. You have no choice but to look at this and say, oh, now I see it. That is what these power surges of energy do. And when you allow yourself to move into a place of accepting this with radical self-acceptance, and I mean when I say radical self-acceptance, you accept that this is where you are. You forgive yourself for it. You love yourself for it anyway, because that's all rolled up in radical self-acceptance. And then you say, given this stark contrast that these power surges are supplying you with, because that's how much the universe loves you, this is not a punishment. Power surges are a gift. And when you occupy the energetic of the creator of your reality instead of the observer of your reality, only then are you able to see that these power surges are a gift, not a curse. Get what I'm saying here? Are you with me? So then you get to make, when you are in that place of radical self-acceptance and awareness of, okay, this is how it is. This is what I'm holding on to. This is what I want. It ain't going to work to have both. So which one do I want? Which one wins out here? Going further on my spiritual path and calling shenanigans on this idea of I need to hold on to this egoic persona that has served me well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it hasn't served you well up till now. But it has brought you to this place of reckoning. It has brought you to this place where you must reconcile what has been with what is and what you want to be, what you are asking to be, what you are asking the universe to supply you with. In the universe, this is why it's a gift. It's only and ever giving you what you're asking for. That's why it's showing you in such stark contrast the counter beliefs, the counter intentions you're holding on to that are keeping you from what you're asking for. It's supplying that contrast to you very, very plainly, very, very clearly. And it's saying, you know what? And here's the energy that we're creating in this universe just for you, so that you can finally move through this and be done. And all these power surges are asking of you is, are you ready to be done? Are you ready to be done? Because here's what it looks like. Here's what can be. Here's what is, and we see where that's gotten you. Are you ready to be done? Are you ready to be done? Are you ready to be done? It'll just keep showing you, and you get to make a choice every single time. What ends up happening with those power surges and where you intend to take that energy, what you decide to lean into energetically, is entirely up to you and no one else but you. The universe simply provides the template and says, here's what was, here's what can be, what's it going to be? And then assuredly, without a doubt, every time you make a self-affirming choice to move out of the trappings of the ideas of who you think you are, the comfort of holding on to something that has allowed you to be in survival mode up till now, the moment you make a self-affirming choice and you say to the universe, you know what, I do want to be this. I'm ready to let go of this. The universe will supply you with everything you need at that time to upgrade your energetic. And it's only and ever uncomfortable to you if you are in a place of resistance to that. Hi, doggy. My doggy likes to come and say hello when I do lives. He's such a ham. Say hi, Fanny. Look at that doggy. Look at that face. So, do you guys get what I'm saying here? So this is why they happen. This is what power surges are. This is why they happen. And we can expect this to happen. Hi, Karen. Hi, Lila. For us, you can expect more of these power surges to happen for us, at least 2 more big ones before the end of the year. So you get to decide. You get to decide. What are you going to do with this energy? Are you deciding then to occupy the energetic and the vibration of creator? Or do you want to continue to operate and take the vantage point of observer of your life? And here's the thing about merging into the energy of creator. Because creator is emerging into the singularity of the one all, the pure source being consciousness of all that is. The creator absorbs the role of observer into it. But observer is pure ego space. It's pure ego vibration. It's just accepting things at face value. Only what is available to you that is part of your sensory input is truth. It leaves out pure potential of being. It leaves out pure possibility of being. The observer doesn't the observer doesn't absorb creator into it. But creator, which is the singularity consciousness, the universal mind, will always absorb observer into it. So you can be both. You can be the observer. And when you are the observer, when you're merged with singularity consciousness, the shift that happens there is, I see what is happening for me more than just face value. I see that this is not happening to me. I see this is happening for me. I have full self-awareness in this moment of what's going on. I'm fully present in the now. I'm fully anchored and mindful of what is present for me now. And you get to make the most informed decision on where to go because you have that pulled back lens perspective, that God's eye view of your life, where you see all the moving parts. So which one would you rather be? So the biggest part of being able to navigate these power surges in a much more favorable and graceful way, where you can see all the moving parts from the highest vantage point, the highest perspective and perception point of who you are, is from the viewpoint of the Creator. And merging into singularity consciousness. You may have a tool where you connect. Every single morning I connect into the Great Mother. I connect into the Mother Creatrix, because the work that I've done over the last 4.5 months, everything, it's very clear to me. This is the biggest work I've ever done. This is the most profound shift I've ever made. And this is the work that I meant to be here and do at this time, is communicating what opens up for you, what happens when you merge with Mother Creatrix energy. Everything comes from the Mother, and everything returns to the Mother. So I start my day, hi Tammy, hi Pamela. I start my day connecting into the womb of cosmic consciousness, into the Great Mother. Hi Carolyn. I connect into that space. I bring it down through the heart of my higher self. I bring it down through my crown. I adjust the energy as it comes into my body, and it often feels like a stretching or a pulling. I ask for that to be recalibrated, because you're pulling the essence of all that is into your physical body. Sometimes that makes you feel uncomfortable. But when you do that and you connect in oneness like that, what you're doing is recalibrating your body to all frequencies. Get it? Because when you connect to the Mother, you're connecting with the one all, the all that is. So those of you who are having the most trouble with power surges, what's really happening is you're adjusting your body, the denseness of this physical being. You're adjusting it to new frequencies coming in. And it feels very uncomfortable and like you're being stretched or pulled in a million different directions, because the body is trying to calibrate to these new frequencies. But here's the thing. If you're constantly connecting with Mother Creatrix energy, and you're connected into the womb of cosmic consciousness, the singularity, the universal mind, the quantum field of mind, the all that is, that embodies all frequencies. So when you're pulling that down into your body every morning and you start your day calibrating that way, guess how the rest of your day feels? Pretty friggin' good. And no matter what level of power surges or what new frequencies are coming in and adjusting this timeline, maybe even collapsing it and collapsing other timelines and bringing in new ones, because we're always bringing in new ascension timelines that are really invitations for us to keep going on our spiritual journey. It can feel uncomfortable if we are in a place of resistance. But here's the thing, if you're connected to the Great Mother, there's no resistance. If you're connected to singularity consciousness, there's no resistance. If you bounce in and out of that, because the dualistic nature of our experience here will take us out of this oneness. It will take us out of this merging. But throughout the day, I reconnect again. Anytime I can see new patterns emerging, they're like, okay, I see that coming a mile away. That's going to take me out of my energetic. I'm just going to go and reconnect now. I'm going to prepare my body now. And here's the other thing about working with Mother Creatrix energy. When you receive these activations, as I did, because there's 8 of them, that help you connect and anchor into Mother Creatrix DNA code alignment, you are able to see the greater pattern of things. And I'm not talking about just patterns in your life. I'm talking about being able to look out, gaze out, energetically connect with the collective and see patterns that are not even forming yet. You can see the origin substance, I guess you would call it, of new patterns emerging. And then you can prepare your body better for it. It's powerful stuff. So do you guys have a way of connecting with Mother Creatrix energy or connecting with singularity consciousness? Do you start your day this way? I start my day this way and I end my day this way. And I bring that down through my body and I ground it into Mother Earth, because the way our body assimilates these frequency changes and can better navigate the rhythms of them and the calibrations of them, we must bring it down into Mother Earth to ground it. We must. And the first activation that you do when you do Mother Creatrix DNA alignment is you connect with the power grid of Mother Earth. And then each activation builds and takes you out from there. And then we bring it back down and ground it again. It's incredibly powerful stuff. I can't ever connect in any other way at this point other than with Mother Creatrix energy, because I understand that this is the source. Everything comes from the Mother and everything returns to the Mother. And then anchoring it, bringing it down and grounding it. Hello, Catherine. Thank you for your messages. It's tricky to understand how the energy works, because those times my life feels off. I'm super aware and have to stop myself from getting upset at me. Thank goodness for those tools. The drama of life is going to put you in that energetic. It just will. Merging with singularity consciousness doesn't mean that you're blinking out of this dense, energetic 3D existence, because we are human, we are spirit incarnate in human form here. So we have chosen, every single one of us that's here, we've chosen to be here and to incarnate at this time. And lucky us, because what is viewed by many light beings, interplanetary beings, whatever, ascended masters, guides, Mother Creatrix, is that this is the grand experiment on Earth at this time. We are going through an energetic flux, change, mass transformation that hasn't been seen on this planet for thousands of years. We picked this time to be here. That's exciting. Now, if you're in the observer perspective, you might just be like, oh my God, did I really? Really? I chose to be here? Well, that explains a lot, because I always make bad choices. No! You chose to be here because you chose to be a creator at this time, and you knew the clay that would be here, that would be so moldable, so tangible here at this time, that you were excited when you came here because you knew it would be available for you. You knew this would be a giant sandbox for you to play in. That you knew that you would be playing with essence, creating it into form. You knew that this was a play of form here. That's all wrapped up for you and waiting for you when you choose to fully occupy the perspective of creator. That's very exciting. I know for a fact that I chose to be here. I know through the work that I've been doing with Mother Creatrix energy that I chose to be here because I chose to bring this information in at this time. And I know that I had the choice to stay where I was and to just kind of play wherever I was in the ethers. But I decided to come here because I knew what was going to be happening and I wanted to be a part of this. And I wanted to be someone who could lend a hand and say, hey, it's not really what you think. It's actually so much more. And I'm looking at all the faces here of those present watching me live, and I know that you feel that too. Maybe you're not fully consciously checked in with it, or fully honoring it, or fully celebrating it, but you should. So what do you do next? Okay. So what I have learned from connecting with Mother Creatrix energy and merging into the singularity consciousness and occupying this perspective, this vantage point, not only does it become a place of perception, but it becomes a field of attraction. It becomes a point of attraction. So when you are the point of attraction of creator, you get to pull opportunities, people, places, situations into your life in such a delicious, graceful, my friend Patrice used a beautiful word today, luxurious and luscious energy of being the creator. Abso-friggin-lutely. Yes, yes, all caps. Because it is extremely luscious. It is so tangible, it's so malleable. The clay that we're working with is just, it's just pure essence. We are working with pure essence here, and we get to create this form based on our desires. Our desires are our compass for moving further along this timeline of being the creators of our reality. That compass is really powerful. Because it's always, our true north is always taking us in the direction of creator. Always, always. But sometimes we're like, well, What happens if we go here? And I know I've been there a million times before, but maybe it'll be different this time. Isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing something over and over again and hoping it to be different? I'm asking you here in this place to dare to occupy the energetic of Creator. To dare to move into that singularity consciousness and be able to reap the deliciousness, as my friend Patrice says, the luxuriousness of being in that space, of seeing the seamless quality of things just flowing into your reality, and you getting to decide with your preferences as Creator, I want this, I don't want that. That's lovely, but I'm going to do this. I choose to have the power to create my reality at will. Doesn't that feel good to say that? These power surges are gifts. They are not punishment. The only reason they feel tough to get through is because you are in some resistance somewhere to either releasing or upgrading your energetic. That is why these happen and feel uncomfortable for you. And I know that's not the most wonderful thing to hear, but it is absolutely true. The only reason these power surges feel really uncomfortable for you is because you are operating at some level of resistance to either releasing that which no longer serves or upgrading your energetic to be further along that spiritual journey that you've been asking for. Does that make sense? Ironic that you are using this imagery because as you were speaking, my son is home from school sick, is rolling clay and shaping or reshaping it. Delicious, right? Luxurious. Reap the benefits of all of this heightened level of awareness also that comes in for you during these power surges or just as they're about to happen. The universe is constantly showing you ways, giving you an out to your current situation, giving you a pathway to reach more abundance, giving you a passageway to accept and allow more of your divine blueprint. Always. But if you don't believe that's true, then you're staying in the vibration of observer. If you don't believe and have faith and trust in the universe that this is happening for you, you're totally content to just look at life the way it is and keep these blinders on and just stay in that survival mode. That's your choice. And I have no judgment around that either way, but I'm saying that you always have a choice. So here's what I can offer you. So I am, if you don't know me, a content pumping machine. I have, in Heal, Awaken, Ascend library alone, I have over 140 different energy activations, energy healings, energy upgrades, energy alignments, attunements, sacred soul alignments that I offer. I have a YouTube channel with 100 different activations and talks about spirituality and all things Ascension. I have a podcast, The Abundant Intuitive, which has, again, another free resource, probably close to 85 or 90 different free energy activations, healings, things to help you expand your vessel, things to help you merge into unity consciousness, things to help you upgrade your energetic, things to help you release, things to help you heal, things to help you clear. So if you have something particular that you are working on and you're kind of stuck, put it in the comments. Chances are I have one energy activation that can help you, at least one. The other option is to work with Mother Creatrix Energy and receive these 8 activations. And it's going to start middle of November. And if you're interested in this, I put posts in my group about this, Ascending Earth Creatrix. These are 8 different activations that help you merge into singularity consciousness, into the one, to help you truly occupy the energetic vibration of Creator, creating your reality at will based on your desires, connecting more into the Earth grid because it's changing, it's shifting. But when we connect into the Mother DNA, we are connected to the Mother DNA in everything. The Earth, the universe, the cosmos, every single being on this planet, all sentient life. If that sounds powerful, that's because it is. So that's coming up second week of November, and I'm only taking on 5 women. I did a talk about it yesterday, so if you want to learn more about it, let me know and I'll tag you on that. Here's the other thing. Just remember that the stuff, just so you don't get disheartened when these patterns, these power surges come up again, you start feeling like that kind of that stretching or pulling, or maybe that contraction in you. What's going on there? Be aware. Go into that place beyond the observer, and maybe you can't stretch fully into believing that you are the creator of reality, but move beyond, even if it's just a little bit, this idea that you are just the observer of your reality. Be able or willing to at least move beyond a little bit this idea of that the things that are happening with these power surges are happening to you, they are happening for you. Because that allows you to move into a place of a little more empowerment, that gives you a little more wiggle room in thinking that you are the creator of your reality. It allows you to close that gap between observer and creator. And understand that this happens with power surges. The stuff that will always come up first, when you are feeling the next wave of like this power surge, maybe it's converging celestial events, solar storms that happen, because as above, so below. If something's going to be happening in the celestial, ethereal realms, it's going to translate down here. It will always do that. So when you start to feel that, and you start to become aware of that, understand that the stuff that will always come up first to be cleared during these power surges is the stuff that you have the most resistance to seeing or knowing. So ask yourself right now, what am I pretending to not know about my life? What am I pretending to not see about my situation right now? Any shadow that is keeping you from your highest and best good is going to be revealed to you first. Because the universe will always go after the biggest bottom belief that you're holding, the biggest key belief, and give you ways to find an out. Always and ever. Because that's how much the universe supports you. That's how much the universe loves you. Again, these power surges are gifts. They are not a curse. It's not punishment. It's a fucking gift. Start seeing it that way. And it's how the universe lovingly gives you this passageway, this opening to say, okay, the energies are really, really potent right now. Let's clear this out and get rid of it. We're done, right? We're done, right? We're done, right? That's what the universe is asking you in these power surges. And then it immediately on the heels of that, it will give you a way to upgrade your energetic. Something for you to step into, some new behavior or habit to develop that is more self-affirming. It'll bring a new person in your life that is meant to help you along, to collaborate, to partner on this spiritual journey of awakening. It'll give you a situation that you can step into. You will always and ever have the choice to say yes or no to it, because the universe will never force anything on you. It simply says, here's the template. We're providing all the different ways that you can go. It's up to you what you decide. But here it is. We're giving you everything you need and all the support you need to carry this out if that is what you choose. So there it is, ladies. Do you have any questions? I needed to get that out because a lot of people needed to hear it and I needed to say it, because we're all going to get wrapped up in the ego survival mode. We're all going to get wrapped up in this idea of who we are. And this idea that the persona that we have, the personality that we have, is basically just a cluster of ideas about who we are. Who we truly are, our higher self, everything about the ego is just superimposed over the higher self. So we're constantly being invited by the universe to look at ways to uncover that egoic personality, to uncover what we've adopted as ideas about who we are. Because they're keeping us in this kind of suffocated survival mode. And we're starting to feel, many of us, as we are starting to awaken and expand even more, we're starting to realize the truth of that. But oftentimes we don't know what to do with it. So that's why I wanted to do this live for you. So if there are no questions, I just want to say thank you all for watching. I'm so glad so many of you showed up. And I really hope that you do go back to this and listen to it again, especially if you didn't watch from the beginning, because sometimes we need to hear this stuff a couple times to get through the layers of the ego, yes? All those layers of the ego that are superimposed over the higher self. We already know all this stuff on a deeper soul level, but we need to hear it with the conscious mind. We need to grasp it with deeper levels of the subconscious as well, right? All right, ladies, thank you so much Love and peace to you. Bye-bye.